Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to smoke these Johnnie Walker beef short ribs. Let's check it out. Alright, so the first step is to just trim them up. Remove any silver skin, any excess fat you don't want to chew on. Cut all that off. Now, if it isn't obvious from this footage here, I don't have the best set of knives, so if you guys could hook it up with a recommendation down below in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. I'm looking for a good set that's not going to really break the bank. Alright, so once you get them trimmed, it's time to add your rub. For these beef ribs, we're going to be using the Rivers Smokehouse Coffee rub. It's my first time using it, not really knowing what to expect. Alright, so I went ahead and coated generously the 5 sides of the beef short rib. So I like to use up the rub that kind of builds up on the plate. I just take whatever I'm seasoning up and just pat it into the pile of rub on the bottom. And just repeat the process for all the ribs you got. There's my pile of ribs, ready for the smoker. Alright, it's time to get some smoke on them. Just gonna spread them out here across my pit. I got it set to 250 degrees. And I have my water pan there in the middle to add some moisture. Alright, so we're an hour in. Let's take a look at what we got. Man, they're looking amazing. Look at that. It's starting to pull back already. The rub has got some large granules. It's looking good. For the spray today, I'm using about half a cup of beef broth and a half cup of Johnnie Walker black whiskey. Now for this whole cook, we're not going to use much of this spray here through the spray bottle. We'll be using them to braise it later. So be generous with it. Cover all the ribs. Get them nice and moist. Alright, so we're at the 2-hour mark. We're going to check some temps. As you can see, I took the majority of that beef broth and Johnnie Walker black mixture, poured it into a pan, and added some diced up onions. And let that heat up as the ribs finish on their smoke. So I'm not really using the thermometer to get a temperature reading. I'm kind of just checking for tenderness. They're still kind of tough. Let's close the pit up and give it another hour. Of course, we're in here, so we're going to give it another spray too. Alright, so we're 3 hours in. You can see I'm finding a lot of spots where the probe just goes straight through, kind of like warm butter. They're looking pretty good. Let's check this side and see what we got. Yeah, a couple tough spots, but all in all pretty tender. I think it's time to take them off the smoke, get them in this beef broth and Walker mix, and let them steam for a little while. Alright, so I managed to squeeze them all in. It's time to close them off with some aluminum foil and let them steam for a little bit. Now you want to make sure you wrap the aluminum foil nice and tight around all 4 of the edges. You want to trap that steam in there and let them tenderize real good. Alright, it's been about an hour since we've wrapped them with aluminum foil. 4 hours total so far on the pit. Let's take a look at our internal temps and see if we're where we need to be. Right about now, I wish YouTube had smell-o-vision. These things are smelling so good. Now in terms of tenderness, they're not quite where I want to be, so I'm going to leave them on maybe another hour or so. Check them again. Alright, so about 30 minutes later, I come out and I notice that the temperature on my pit has dropped drastically. Taking a look inside, I can see that the pellets have piled up and didn't light off. I think what happened was I never stirred the pellets that were in the hopper, and it created kind of a void, which led to a flame out, and then eventually some more pellets piled in and piled up there in that ash pot. No big deal, we'll just vacuum this up, clean it out. Now if this happens to you at the end of your smoke like it did for me, no big deal. I just turned on the oven at 250, popped them in there for another 35-40 minutes or so. They weren't taking any smoke anyway because they were wrapped. And here's the final product. Man, they look delicious. This is what you're looking for. You want that temperature probe to slide right through the beef as if it wasn't even there. These are ready and they're going to be extremely tender. Alright, let's cut into them and see what we got. That bone just slipped right out. Look at that. It's perfect. Now, earlier I told you I left that skin on the bottom of the bone. Let's go ahead and cut that off now. Let's try to get some slices here and see what the inside looks like. There I am again, bit by that bad knife. Please leave me a comment down below. Give me a good knife set I can get. Okay, so I switched to a knife with a little more teeth on it. Some beautiful little strips I'm cutting off. Very tender, very soft, very moist. Look at that smoke ring on the top. Man, that looks good. Let's give it a squeeze test and see what we got. Oh, it's just full of juice. So it came out super tender, very moist. Look at that, just pulls apart. That's good rub. It's got a lot of pepper in it. I can taste the garlic. And I'm getting little hints of that Johnnie Walker whiskey. Very good. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, get some notifications, and leave a comment. Thank you.